First contact and devastation. Captain Maya Chen stood motionless on the observation deck of Defense Station Aegis, her eyes fixed on the emergency transmission playing on the main view screen. The message was fragmented, distorted by interference, but the terror in Governor Harrison's voice came through with chilling clarity. "This is Governor Ella Harrison of New Avalon Colony. We are under attack by unknown vessels. They appeared without warning. Our orbital defenses have been." The transmission cut to static, then briefly returned. "Casualties in the thousands already. Please send." Another burst of static. "They're landing troops now. God help us, there." The transmission ended. The silence that followed hung heavy over the bridge. "That was 18 minutes ago," Lieutenant Commander Raj Patel reported, his voice tight. "We've been unable to re-establish contact with New Avalon." Maya took a deep breath, steadying herself. New Avalon was home to over 3 million colonists, the largest settlement in the Arcturus sector. If it had fallen. "Long-range sensors?" she asked. "Still nothing definitive," replied Sensor Officer Liu. "But we're detecting massive thermal blooms consistent with planet-wide bombardment." Maya's jaw clenched. 20 years of human expansion into the stars, establishing colonies on dozens of worlds, and never once had they encountered hostile intelligent life. The ruins and artifacts of long-dead civilizations, yes. Primitive organisms, certainly. But never another spacefaring species. Until today. "Send an emergency quantum relay to Earth Command," Maya ordered. "Priority Alpha. New Avalon Colony under attack by unknown hostile forces. Request immediate reinforcement." The communications officer nodded grimly and began the transmission. "Captain," Raj said quietly, stepping closer. "Earth Fleet's nearest battle group is 3 days out at maximum burn." "I know." Maya's eyes remained fixed on the last frame of the transmission. Governor Harrison's face twisted in fear. "But we need to do something. Prepare the Aegis for immediate departure. Alert all hands." "We're just a monitoring station, Captain," Raj reminded her. "We have minimal weapons, no ground forces." "We have eyes and ears, Commander," Maya cut him off. "Earth needs to know what we're facing. And there could be survivors." Before Raj could respond, the sensor station erupted in alarms. "Multiple ships emerging from FTL," Liu called out. "Bearing 220 Mark 43. Distance, 300,000 kilometers and closing fast." The main view screen shifted to show a fleet of vessels unlike anything Maya had seen before. Their hulls were mottled green and brown, with oddly organic lines that reminded her of reptilian scales. They moved with surprising agility for their size. 13 vessels, Liu reported. Configuration unknown. Energy signatures off the charts. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. "Are they on an intercept course?" "No, Captain. They appear to be heading away from New Avalon, toward the jump point to the Vega sector." The implications hit her immediately. They're heading for Helios Colony. Another human settlement, home to nearly 1 million people. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from Earth Command," the communications officer announced. Admiral Zhao. The weathered face of Fleet Admiral Lai Zhao appeared on screen. His expression was grim. "Captain Chen, we've received your alert about New Avalon. I'm afraid we have similar reports coming in from Proxima Station. The colony there was attacked 6 hours ago." Maya felt the blood drain from her face. 2 colonies, simultaneously. 3 now, Zhao corrected. "We've lost contact with Irene in the Ta-Ceti system. 6 million colonists across 3 star systems. The scale of the attack was incomprehensible." "Do we know who they are?" Maya asked. "Initial analysis of their language patterns and ship design suggests they call themselves the Saurians," Zhao replied. "We had no prior knowledge of their existence." "Sir, I have visual confirmation of a Saurian fleet heading toward the Vega sector. They're targeting Helios Colony next." Zhao's expression darkened. "We've already lost 3 colonies, Captain. We cannot lose a 4th. The dauntless battle group is en route but won't arrive in time. You're the only Earth vessel in range. What would you have us do, Admiral? We're an observation post, not a warship. I'm aware of your limitations, Captain. But we need eyes on this threat. Track them, gather intelligence, and if possible, attempt communication. Find out why they're attacking us. And if they attack us, Maya asked. Then you give them hell until reinforcements arrive, Zhao said grimly. Earth Defense Council is convening an emergency session. There are options being discussed. Something in his tone caught Maya's attention. What options, sir? Zhao hesitated. That's classified, Captain. For now, focus on your mission. Zhao out. As the Admiral's image disappeared, Maya turned to her crew. They were watching her, their faces pale but determined. You heard the Admiral, she said. Set course to intercept the Saurian fleet. All sensors at maximum resolution. I want to know everything about those ships, weapons, defenses, vulnerabilities, and prepare a first contact package, just in case they're willing to talk. And if they're not? Raj asked quietly. Maya thought of her sister and her young nieces who had moved to New Avalon just 2 years ago. Her hand tightened on the railing. Then we make them regret ever hearing the name humanity. The Aegis moved silently through space, keeping a careful distance from the Saurian fleet. For 12 hours, they observed the alien vessels, collecting data on their propulsion systems, energy signatures, and communication patterns. They're definitely heading for Helios, Raj confirmed. At their current speed, they'll arrive in less than 10 hours. Maya nodded, studying the tactical display. What have we learned about their weapons? They appear to use some form of plasma-based technology, Liu reported. Extremely high energy yield. Based on the damage to New Avalon, a single ship could glass half a continent. Any response to our communication attempts? Communications Officer Park shook her head. Nothing, Captain. Either they can't understand us, or they're ignoring us, or they don't care, Maya murmured. The thought chilled her. An enemy that didn't even bother to communicate wasn't interested in diplomacy or surrender. They wanted extinction. Captain, Park called suddenly. Priority message from Earth Command. Text only, eyes only authorization. Maya frowned and moved to her private terminal. The message appeared, preceded by the highest security clearance she'd ever seen. Dragon Protocol L authorized. Return to Earth MMADAKLY4BREFIing. Dragon Protocol, she whispered. In 15 years of service, she'd never heard the term. Another message followed immediately. Captain Cian, your sister and her family were evacuated from New Avalon 3 days ago. FORA MEDICALCONFERENC on Earth. They are safe. Zhao. Relief flooded through her, followed immediately by guilt. Millions were dead, and she was grateful her family wasn't among them. What kind of person did that make her? Change of plans, she announced, composing herself. We've been recalled to Earth. Emergency Protocol Alpha. What about Helios Colony? Raj asked, confusion evident in his voice. Those are our orders, Commander. Maya's voice left no room for argument. Whatever this Dragon Protocol was, Earth Command deemed it more important than tracking the Saurian fleet. As the Aegis changed course and accelerated toward Earth, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that humanity was about to respond to this existential threat with something terrible. 24 hours later, Maya found herself in a room she hadn't known existed, 50 meters beneath Earth Defense Headquarters in Geneva. Around a large obsidian table sat the 12 members of the Earth Defense Council, along with Admiral Zhao and a man she didn't recognize, tall, with silver hair and intense eyes that seemed to burn with inner fire. Captain Chen. Council Chairwoman Olivia Santos began. What you're about to hear is classified beyond top secret. Until today, only 15 people knew of its existence. Maya stood at attention, acutely aware of the weight of the moment. "This is Dr. Elijah Winters," Chairwoman Santos continued, gesturing to the silver-haired man. 20 years ago, he headed a project that could now be our only hope of survival." Dr. Winters studied Maya with those burning eyes. "Captain Chen, what do you know about dragons?" Maya blinked in confusion. "Earth mythological creatures, sir. Powerful, winged reptiles that breathed fire." "Yes," Winters nodded. "Creatures of immense power, terrible in their wrath, nearly impossible to kill." He pressed a button, and a hologram appeared above the table, a massive ship unlike any Maya had ever seen. "Meet Prometheus," Winters said, "the first of Earth's dragons, the Dragon Protocol." The vessel in the hologram defied conventional starship design philosophy, where Earth ships favored utilitarian lines and modular construction. This craft seemed almost organic. Its hull gleamed with a metallic sheen that shifted between deep red and burnished gold as it rotated. The bow resembled a dragon's head, complete with what looked like eyes, sensor arrays, Maya assumed, and the stern tapered to structures reminiscent of massive wings and a tail. "This is no ordinary warship," Dr. Winters explained, circling the hologram like a proud father. "Prometheus is the culmination of Project Dragonfire, our contingency against extinction-level threats from beyond our solar system." "Why wasn't the fleet informed of this project?" Maya asked, unable to hide her shock. Admiral Zhou cleared his throat. "Because these ships aren't just weapons, Captain. There's something else entirely." Dr. Winters nodded. "Prometheus and her 5 siblings represent a fusion of our most advanced technologies: quantum computing, synthetic biology, self-evolving AI, and metamaterials that can adapt their properties in real time." "They're alive," Maya said, suddenly understanding. "In a manner of speaking," Winters confirmed. "Each dragon has a unique personality matrix based on a hybrid AI architecture. They can learn, adapt, and evolve their strategies as they fight. More importantly, they operate autonomously. No crew required." Councilman Gregory Wallace, representing the North American Union, leaned forward. "Dr. Winters, remind us why these dragons were mothballed before completion." Winters' expression darkened. "Because they were too effective. In simulations, they consistently exceeded their programming parameters, developing combat solutions that were unexpected." "Dangerous, you mean?" Wallace pressed. "Innovative," Winters corrected sharply. "The dragons were designed to protect humanity at all costs. They interpret that directive creatively." Maya studied the hologram with growing concern. "You're proposing to activate weapons so powerful you mothballed them, against an enemy we barely understand." "The Saurians have destroyed 3 colonies without provocation," Chairwoman Santos interjected. "Over 6 million dead. Our conventional forces cannot respond in time to save Helios Colony. We need the dragons." Before Maya could respond, an aide rushed into the room and whispered urgently to Admiral Zhou. The Admiral's face turned ashen. "Helios Colony has gone dark," he announced. "Long-range sensors detect the same thermal patterns we saw at New Avalon. They're bombarding the planet. Another 1,000,000 lives, extinguished." Maya felt sick. How many more would die while they debated? "Enough," she said, with unexpected force. "These Saurians attacked without warning or provocation. They've shown no interest in communication. 4 colonies are gone. If we have weapons that can stop them, we need to use them." Dr. Winters studied her with newfound interest. "The dragons will need handlers, Captain. Officers who understand their capabilities and can provide mission parameters. I've reviewed your service record. You have an unusual combination of tactical acumen and ethical flexibility. Are you offering me command of one of these dragons?" Maya asked incredulously. "Not command," he corrected. "Partnership. The dragons don't accept commanders, but they do recognize the value of human insight." Admiral Zhou stepped forward. "Captain Chen, you're being assigned as the human counterpart to Dragon Ship Nemesis. Dr. Winters will brief you on its specific capabilities. Nemesis, Maya echoed. Each dragon has a name drawn from mythology, Winters explained. Prometheus, who brought fire to humanity. Nemesis, the goddess of retribution. Ouroboros, the world servant. Tiamat, the primordial chaos. Jormungand, who circles the world. And Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. Councilwoman Ling from the East Asian Federation raised her hand. Before we proceed, I must ask again, can these dragons be controlled? What safeguards exist if they exceed their parameters? Winters hesitated, just long enough for Maya to notice. Each dragon contains emergency shutdown protocols. In addition, they're programmed with core directives that cannot be violated. Protect humanity as a whole, minimize civilian casualties, and obey lawful commands from authorized personnel. As a whole is concerning language, Dr. Councilman Wallace noted. It's necessary, Winters replied. The dragons must be free to calculate acceptable losses if the alternative is extinction. Maya felt a chill at his words. These weren't just weapons. They were judges, empowered to decide who lived and who died in humanity's defense. The council voted. The decision was unanimous. Activate the dragons. 20 minutes later, Maya found herself in a secure briefing room with Dr. Winters and a small team of specialists. The wall screens displayed real-time data streams from Earth's sensor network, tracking Saurian fleet movements across 5 star systems. They're expanding outward in a systematic pattern, Maya observed. These aren't random attacks. They're following a strategy. Yes, Winters agreed, which suggests they've been planning this for some time. The question is why now? What triggered this aggression? Before Maya could speculate, an alert sounded. A new hologram appeared, a live feed from a massive underground facility. The awakening has begun, Winters said quietly. On the screen, Maya watched as technicians moved around an enormous chamber. In the center, suspended in some kind of liquid medium, was Prometheus. Up close, the dragon ship was even more intimidating. Its hull seemed to ripple slightly, like muscles beneath skin. Initiating quantum core activation, a technician announced. Neural pathways online. Synthetic biology interfaces green across the board. Lights began to pulse along Prometheus's hull, slowly at first, then with increasing intensity. The liquid drained from the chamber. Consciousness threshold achieved. Another voice reported. Eye matrix stabilizing. Winters pressed a button on the console before him. Prometheus, this is Dr. Elijah Winters. Authentication code, Dracodormians. There was a moment of silence. Then a voice filled the room, deep, resonant, with an unusual cadence that wasn't quite human. Dr. Winters, it has been 12 years, 47 days, 6 hours since our last communication. I detect elevated stress markers in your voice. Is humanity threatened? Yes, Prometheus. An alien species called the Saurians has attacked multiple human colonies. Millions are dead. The lights along Prometheus's hull flashed rapidly, cycling through patterns too complex for Maya to follow. I am processing the tactical data. These Saurians employ predictable attack patterns. Their technology is advanced, but not insurmountable. I calculate a 78.3% probability of successful defense if I engage immediately. You won't be fighting alone, Winters replied. We're awakening all 6 dragons. Prometheus paused, as if surprised. All 6. The threat assessment must be severe. I recommend immediate deployment. My systems are at optimal capacity. Prepare for launch, Winters confirmed. Your primary mission is to engage Saurian forces near the Epsilon Eridani system. Captain Lawrence Way will serve as your human counterpart. Acknowledged. I look forward to working with Captain Way. Preparing for departure. Maya watched in awe as massive doors opened above the chamber. Prometheus's engines glowed to life, not the familiar blue of fusion drives, but a strange, shifting aurora of colors. The dragon rose smoothly, hovering for a moment before accelerating upward with impossible grace for an object of its size. "My God," she whispered. "Indeed," Winters said, a hint of pride in his voice. "Now, let's introduce you to Nemesis." They moved to another screen, showing a different facility, this one built into the side of what appeared to be a lunar crater. Nemesis was designed for stealth operations and electronic warfare, Winters explained as they watched the awakening process repeat. Where Prometheus excels at direct confrontation, Nemesis specializes in deception, infiltration, and system subversion. The dragon that emerged from its chamber was sleeker than Prometheus, its hull a deep blue-black that seemed to absorb light. Instead of the fiery glow of Prometheus's engines, Nemesis pulsed with subtle ripples of electric blue energy. When it spoke, its voice was lighter, almost musical. "Dr. Winters, my systems are optimal. I understand humanity faces extinction. How shall I assist?" "Nemesis, this is Captain Maya Chen. She will be your human counterpart for this mission." The dragon's sensors seemed to focus on Maya through the video feed. "Captain Chen, your psychological profile suggests high analytical intelligence combined with strong ethical frameworks. We will work well together." Maya wasn't sure how to respond to being psychologically profiled by a semi-sentient warship. "I look forward to it," she managed. "Your primary mission," Winters continued, "is to infiltrate Saurian communication networks. We need to understand their language, their motivations, and their weaknesses." "I will require direct access to Saurian systems," Nemesis replied. "This necessitates close proximity to their vessels. That's why Captain Chen is joining you," Winters explained. "Her experience in covert observation will be valuable." "When do we leave?" Maya asked. Winters checked his terminal. "Immediately. Transport to the lunar facility is standing by. You'll rendezvous with Nemesis in orbit and proceed directly to the last known location of the Saurian command ship." As they moved toward the exit, Maya stopped. "Dr. Winters, there's something you're not telling me about these dragons, isn't there?" The scientist hesitated. "Captain, the dragons were designed to save humanity in its darkest hour, but all salvation comes with a price." "What price?" she pressed. "Once unleashed, I cannot guarantee they'll ever return to hibernation," he admitted quietly. "They were built to evolve, to become what humanity needs them to be. What they become may be beyond our control." Maya absorbed this. "You're afraid of them." "I'm their creator," Winters replied. "Of course I fear them. But right now, I fear extinction more." Counterattack. The interior of Nemesis defied Maya's expectations. Rather than the sterile mechanical environment of a traditional warship, the dragon's command center felt almost organic. The walls pulsed with subtle bioluminescence, and control interfaces materialized and disappeared as needed. There was no crew, no bridge officers, just Maya, and the ever-present consciousness of Nemesis itself. "Your vital signs indicate elevated stress levels, Captain Chen," Nemesis observed as Maya settled into what appeared to be the command chair. "This is understandable. Few humans have experienced direct neural interface with a dragon." "Neural interface?" Maya asked, alarmed. "To optimize our coordination, I will create a limited connection to your sensory cortex," Nemesis explained. "This will allow you to perceive tactical data as I do. The process is non-invasive and reversible." Before Maya could object, she felt a strange tingling at the base of her skull. Suddenly, her perception expanded. She could see energy patterns flowing through Nemesis's systems, feel the subtle gravitational influences of nearby celestial bodies, and somehow understand the complex quantum calculations the dragon was performing continuously. "This is overwhelming," she gasped. "I have limited the data flow to 12% of my total sensory input," Nemesis informed her. "Your human brain would be unable to process more without risk of damage." 12%, Maya marveled. "And you handle all of this constantly?" "I was designed to," Nemesis replied, with what Maya could have sworn was a hint of pride. "We are approaching the edge of the Ta-CD system. Passive sensors detect Saurian patrol vessels. I am engaging stealth protocols." Maya felt the ship change around her. Through their connection, she understood that Nemesis was reconfiguring its outer hull at the molecular level, absorbing all electromagnetic radiation rather than reflecting it. They had become, effectively, invisible. "Remarkable," she whispered. "Captain, I am detecting unusual communication patterns from the Saurian vessels. They appear to be reporting combat losses in the Epsilon Eridani system." Maya smiled grimly. "Prometheus." "Correct. According to intercepted transmissions, Prometheus has engaged and destroyed 7 Saurian warships. The remaining vessels are withdrawing from the system." Through their neural link, Maya could actually see the translated Saurian communications, not as text, but as concepts and emotions flowing directly into her mind. The aliens were confused, afraid, and angry. They didn't expect resistance, she realized. Not like this. Their tactical doctrine suggests overconfidence, Nemesis agreed. "I am analyzing their encryption protocols now. With sufficient samples, I can decrypt their entire communication network." Hours passed as they silently shadowed the Saurian patrol fleet. Maya used the time to explore her connection with Nemesis, marveling at the ship's capabilities. The Dragon's awareness extended across multiple dimensions of reality that human science barely understood. "Nemesis," she asked finally, "what do you know about the Saurians? Why are they attacking us?" The Dragon was silent for a moment, processing. "I have limited data on their species. However, based on their communication patterns and tactical approach, I can make some inferences. The Saurians appear to be a hierarchical, expansionist species with a rigid social structure. Their attack pattern suggests they view humanity as a threat requiring immediate elimination." "A threat? We didn't even know they existed until they attacked us." "That is inconsistent with their behavior," Nemesis agreed. "According to their communications, they refer to humans as the harbingers, or perhaps the forerunners of something they fear greatly." Before Maya could pursue this line of questioning, an alert flashed through their shared consciousness. "Multiple Saurian vessels on approach," Nemesis reported. "They appear to be reinforcements, calculating optimal observation position." But instead of moving away, Maya felt the Dragon's systems shifting toward combat readiness. "Nemesis, our mission is intelligence gathering, not engagement," she reminded the ship. "Correct, Captain. However, I now detect a different target of opportunity. The approaching fleet includes what appears to be a command vessel. Direct access to this ship would accelerate our intelligence gathering significantly." Maya considered this. "You're proposing we board a Saurian command ship. I can deploy synthetic infiltration units. They would connect to Saurian systems and extract critical intelligence while the vessel's crew remains unaware." It was a risky plan, but the potential intelligence gain was enormous. "Proceed," Maya authorized, "but maintain stealth protocols. We can't afford detection." "Understood, Captain." Preparing infiltration units. Through their neural link, Maya watched as Nemesis manufactured tiny, insect-like drones within its hull. Each was barely larger than her thumbnail, constructed from metamaterials that could change their properties to match Saurian technology. As the Saurian command ship passed nearby, Nemesis launched the infiltration units, a cloud of microscopic motes that drifted toward the alien vessel. Once attached to the hull, they began boring inward, seeking access to computer systems. "Infiltration successful," Nemesis reported. "Accessing Saurian data networks. Beginning analysis." Maya had experienced a flood of alien data through their connection. Ship schematics, troop movements, tactical plans, and fragments of what appeared to be historical records. The sheer volume was staggering. "I have located what appears to be their strategic objectives," Nemesis announced. "The Saurians are methodically targeting all human colonies in a specific pattern, working inward toward Earth." "So Earth is their ultimate target," Maya said, unsurprised. Yes. However, I have also identified something unexpected. The Saurians believe humans are developing biological weapons capable of causing genetic degradation in their species. Maya frowned. That's absurd. We weren't even aware of their existence. Nevertheless, this appears to be their primary motivation. They refer repeatedly to the great sterilization that they believe humans are planning. Before they could discuss this further, the neural link flared with warning signals. "We have been detected," Nemesis announced. "Saurian security protocols have identified the infiltration units. They are initiating countermeasures." Maya felt a surge of tension through their connection. "Can you extract the units?" "Negative. They are being systematically destroyed. However, I have retrieved approximately 73% of critical data. Recommend immediate withdrawal." "Agreed. Get us out of here." The Dragon's engines ignited, no longer concerned with stealth. As they accelerated away from the Saurian fleet, Maya saw energy weapons powering up on the enemy vessels. "Multiple targeting locks detected," Nemesis reported. Evasive maneuvers initiated. The ship moved with impossible agility, twisting and turning through space in patterns no human pilot could have executed. The first volley of Saurian plasma weapons missed entirely. "Their targeting algorithms are predictable," Nemesis observed, adapting hull configuration to absorb energy signatures. The second volley struck them directly, but instead of damage, Maya felt Nemesis's systems actually absorbing the energy, converting it into usable power. "Fascinating," the Dragon commented. "Their weapons rely on destabilizing molecular bonds. I have reconfigured my outer hull to use this energy to strengthen my defensive capabilities." "You're learning from their attacks," Maya realized. "Yes, each engagement provides valuable data. The Saurians, however, appear less adaptable. They continue to employ the same tactics despite their ineffectiveness." As if to prove Nemesis's point, the Saurian vessels launched another identical attack pattern. This time, the energy weapons had no effect whatsoever. "Should we return fire?" Maya asked. "Our mission parameters prioritize intelligence gathering over combat," Nemesis reminded her. "Additionally, I calculate a 94.2% probability that other dragons are currently engaging Saurian forces. Our optimal contribution remains information acquisition." Maya nodded, impressed by the Dragon's discipline. "Set course for rendezvous with Earth Command. They need to know what we've discovered." As they accelerated to FTL speeds, leaving the frustrated Saurian fleet behind, Maya reviewed the intelligence they'd gathered. The idea that humanity was developing bioweapons against a species they'd never encountered was patently absurd. Either the Saurians were operating on catastrophically flawed intelligence, or, "Nemesis," she said slowly, "is it possible the Saurians were deliberately missiled? That someone or something wanted this war to happen?" The Dragon was silent for a long moment. "An interesting hypothesis, Captain. I detect no evidence of third-party manipulation in the data we recovered. However, the Saurians' conviction regarding human bioweapons is difficult to explain otherwise. We need to find the source of their intelligence," Maya decided. "If someone is manipulating events, that's our key to ending this conflict." "Agreed. I will continue analyzing the recovered data for any anomalies or inconsistencies." As they traveled through FTL space, reports came in from across human territory. Prometheus had successfully defended the Epsilon Eridani system, destroying 9 Saurian warships, with no casualties among the human colonists. Dragon ship Ouroboros had intercepted and eliminated a Saurian fleet approaching the Ta City system. Tiamat had engaged Saurian forces at Proxima Centauri, driving them back and reclaiming the devastated colony world. The Dragons were turning the tide of war. When they arrived at Earth, Maya found the defense headquarters transformed. The central command room had been reconfigured to monitor all 6 dragons simultaneously. Dr. Winters was there, surrounded by analysts and military officers. "Captain Chen," he greeted her. "Nemesis reports your mission was a success." "We've gathered critical intelligence," she confirmed. The Saurians believe we're developing biological weapons against them, weapons that could sterilize their entire species. Winters frowned. That's preposterous. Is it? Maya challenged. Project Dragonfire was kept secret from most of humanity. Could there be other projects we don't know about? The scientists seemed genuinely shocked. No government, human or otherwise, would sanction a genocidal bioweapon. The ethical implications alone. Ethics haven't stopped wars before. Maya interrupted. We need to be certain. Admiral Zhao joined them, his face grim. Captain Chen is right. We need to investigate this claim thoroughly. If there's even a possibility that some faction within human space is developing such weapons, we need to know. Winters nodded reluctantly. I'll make inquiries through secure channels. In the meantime, we should prepare a communication package for the Saurians, explaining that their fears are unfounded. Will they believe us? Maya asked. Probably not, Zhao admitted. But we have to try. The alternative is mutual annihilation. As if to emphasize his point, a new alert sounded across the command center. A massive hologram appeared, showing a star system Maya didn't immediately recognize. Saurian home system, an analyst announced. Dragon ship Jormungand has penetrated their defensive perimeter and is approaching their homeworld. All eyes turned to the display. Jormungand, the world serpent of Norse mythology, had indeed slipped past dozens of Saurian warships and now orbited their heavily populated homeworld. The dragon appeared to be scanning the planet, not attacking. This is our opportunity, Maya realized. With their homeworld under potential threat, the Saurians might be willing to communicate. Dr. Winters nodded slowly. A negotiating position. But be careful what you wish for, Captain. The dragons were designed to protect humanity at all costs. Jormungandr may have its own ideas about how to accomplish that mission. The heart of the enemy. The quantum communication chamber hummed with energy as Maya prepared to make contact with Jormungandr. Through a specialized neural interface, similar to her connection with Nemesis, she would be able to communicate directly with the dragon despite the vast distances involved. Remember, Captain, Dr. Winters cautioned, Jormungandr has the most aggressive personality matrix of all the dragons. It was designed for deep penetration missions behind enemy lines. Its primary directive is to eliminate existential threats to humanity, by any means necessary. Maya nodded grimly. I understand. That's why I need to establish contact before it decides the most efficient solution is planetary bombardment. The interface,